You guys, Borderlands 2 is here. I don't know if you heard that it was coming, because they're going for kind of a quiet, under-the-radar release. Anyway, if you were a fan of the gun-toting, loot-obsessed predecessor to this game, then you are gonna love all of the tweaks that they made. And if you weren't such a fan of Borderlands, well, maybe get ready to be a fan. Borderlands 2 is set a few years after the first game. A guy named Handsome Jack has taken credit for finding the vault, along with an element called iridium that was inside of it. It's made him the richest dude on the planet and put him in charge. And he is like a huge dick.
Tighten up the big boy pants because things are gonna get really, really bad for you vault hunters.
Instead of playing through as the heroes of the first game, you actually play alongside them as a totally new character, joining the Resistance in the fight against Jack. Having a central villain and conflict as well as some real constant supporting characters makes Borderlands 2 way more engaging than the first one. It helps that the writing from a team headed up by Anthony Birch of Hey Ask What You Playin' makes all the characters hilarious, relatable, and at the least, marginally insane. Another thing the sequel has going for it are gorgeous and varied environments instead of the desert after slightly different desert world of the first one. Pandora feels more like a living, breathing place thanks to icy mountains, futuristic cities, toxic swamps, and a bunch of other locales. And there are far more enemy types this time around too. In the first few hours of Borderlands 2, you are going to run into more kinds of people and places than you did in the entire first game. For the most part, the missions feel much more interesting as well, with more strange objectives and boss fights, but if you play through a lot of the optional stuff, you're definitely going to run into a lot of those fetch me 10 of these, hit 3 switches sort of quests, but it's way more bearable now. I chose to play as Axton, the commando, whose special skill is the ability to drop a turret into the fight. I focused on his gorilla skill tree, which gave me more short-range skills like improved reload times and heightened damage and movement after every kill. I could have gone with a tree that had more defensive skills, like the ability to randomly shrug off damage that would have otherwise killed me, or by adding shields to my turret. There's also one that seriously just focuses on explosions, to the point where my turret would have become a nuke. I love how much customization there was, not just to attributes, but also to special skills. There's also a lot more physical customization available in Borderlands 2, with the ability to buy and find new heads and skins for characters all throughout the world. A few more much appreciated tweaks have been added too, like a vault to store a bunch of weapons in, and a locker that lets you pass items in between characters if you're doing multiple playthroughs at once. There's also a badass rank system. Completing challenges related to things like weapon skills and special kills give you badass points that you can use to get permanent stat boosts that work on all of the characters on your profile. So on your second playthrough, your new character gets those stat boosts, which helps you get rid of the monotony of leveling up a new character and getting to the interesting stuff. Multiplayer is a huge focus for Borderlands, and you can play online or with split screen or system link on consoles, and I just love that there is system link. Playing online is fun with decent matchmaking and no glitches or lags that I saw, even on my spotty home connection, but you know, keep in mind that the servers aren't really getting slammed yet. Split screen is there. I wouldn't do it unless it was a necessity. It's not the greatest experience. I also found that online matches don't really balance well for players of disparate levels. So if you're even a couple levels below your teammates, you're gonna hear a lot of that snarky new you booth voice.
Do not think about the fact that your current body is only a digital reconstruction of your original body.
There are other little updates too, like an honest-to-God mini-map, thank goodness, and better placement of fast travel stations, and look, can I just get real with you? They fixed it, you guys. They took all the little quirks and the things that weren't really well implemented in the first game and addressed just about everything. It's fun to look at, it's hilarious, it's well paced, and it kept my interest the whole way through. I mean, I was kind of into Borderlands, but I love Borderlands 2. If you are at all on the fence, just grab it. It's a huge, wonderful, silly, sprawling game that everyone should own. It's one of my favorites of this year for sure. I know that you guys probably have a ton more questions about Borderlands 2, so definitely leave them down below in the comments and I'll get to as many of them as I can. We have done a ton of videos for the game already, including skill trees, videos about the new character classes, a ton of gameplay, so check out our playlist on our channel for all of that stuff. And Terralong has another review going up in just a couple hours over on the Destructoid channel, so be sure to check that out as well.
Bye.